Donald Trump looked absolutely awful during his disastrous speech that just wrapped up in Rome, Georgia. Look how tiny this crowd was. Like 100 people there in Rome, Georgia. Donald Trump picked this location because it's Marjorie Taylor Greene's former congressional district, but Donald Trump could not draw a crowd. Again, look how tiny the crowd is, and look how disgusting and awful Donald Trump looked. What shade of face is that even? Now, as Donald Trump was giving this disastrous speech, he began by giving a shout out to the people on the Epstein list. So he said, shout out to Howard Lutnick. He's doing a great job. Doing a great job, what, Donald? Bringing his little children back in the day to Epstein's Island where child sex trafficking was taking place? You think he's doing a good job? Anyway, here, play this clip.
I also want to thank Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who's got more good ideas. He's a very, very successful guy. Thank you, Howard. Howard Lutnick. We have some big things happening.
Then Donald Trump kept on talking about how he wants to go to heaven, but he doesn't think he will make it to heaven. Here's what he had to say. Let's play this clip.
It's not worthy of heaven. I'm not going to make it. And I was having a good time going, I was having fun. I hope to make it. But I doubt I will, to be honest with you. A lot of you will. I'm not saying you. But I was having fun.
Now, if you're asking what this speech was supposed to be about, apparently it was supposed to be about affordability, but Donald Trump said he doesn't need to talk about affordability because he won. He goes, I won affordability. It's over, so nobody talks about this issue anymore. What the hell are you talking about? We're of course talking about it, as well as your cover-up of a child sex trafficking ring. Here, play this clip.
You notice, what word have you not heard over the last 2 weeks? Affordability. Because I've won. I've won affordability. I had to go out and talk about it.
Now, after saying that he wants to go to heaven, after saying he won affordability, he then said that he once flew into Iraq and he was so brave that he actually deserves a Congressional Medal of Honor for flying into Iraq once, and that he thinks he's braver than our troops. This is what he was telling the people of Rome, Georgia. Play this clip.
And I rebuilt the military my first time. I said, why would it take 4 years? He said, well, I would. So I decided to go to Iraq, and I flew to Iraq. I was extremely brave. In fact, so brave I wanted to give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor. I said to my people, am I allowed to give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor? And I've given out so many to guys that are seriously brave. I mean, they come in with the arms are missing, the legs are missing. The stories are so unbelievable. And I said, no, it's a little stretch if I gave myself one of them. But it's one of those things. Someday I'm going to try. I'm going to test the law. Brandon, I'm going to say, let's give it a shot. Maybe I'll win in court after everyone sues me. If the radical left lunatics sue me. Now watch. The fake news, I'm having fun. The fake news will say, Donald Trump wants to give himself the Congressional Medal of Honor. But he was rebuffed by the audience, who stood up and booed the hell out of him. No, they say that kind of stuff. It's amazing.
Now, it should also be noted that while this speech was taking place in Rome, Georgia, there was another speech taking place in Georgia for the gubernatorial race, and the Democrats there drew more people in a local high school than Donald Trump was able to draw. Donald Trump then brags that he waived his salary even though he's made billions of dollars in quid pro quo, emolument clause violations, grifting off the American people, basically stealing from the American people, in my opinion. Donald Trump says that he waived his salary, and so he's not making $2 million off his salary, so he's a schmuck, and we should be thanking him more, he says. This is how psychotic this individual is. Play this clip.
I'll pay it, okay? You know what? I don't even talk about this much. I get no credit for it. So, as president, I make $2 million over 4 years, $2.5 million. I waived it. I'm the only president that ever waived it. And they never, ever talk about it. But every week, some of the scum from the New York Times will call, did he waive it? And if my secretary would say, yes, he did. If I ever said, no, he didn't, it would be a headline scandal.
He then goes on to say how much he loves tariffs and that we would be a dead country right now if it wasn't for his tariffs. And as you know, tariffs are raising the prices of everything and is screwing us right now. Donald Trump is a moron. Here, play this clip.
And to think I have to be in the United States Supreme Court for many, many months waiting for a decision on tariffs. Without tariffs, this country would be in such trouble right now. Without tariffs, this country would be like your company was 2 years ago. What a difference it made.
He then tells a story about French President Emmanuel Macron, and then Donald Trump starts randomly yelling, and he goes, and I told Macron, you're doing this. Again, what are we even watching here? Play this clip.
Not do that, Donald. Why would I do that? I would be out of business. They said, no, you're going to do it 100%. No, I will not do that. I will not do that. Yes, you will. You're going to do it. And he said, no. I said, here's the story. If you don't do it, I'm going to put a 100% tariff on all of the wine and champagne that you sell into the United States. And you know what he said? I will do it. I will gladly do it.
Obviously, Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is in Donald Trump's head as Donald Trump starts to call